If you want to see me start from scratch in a brand new area where we are going to build a property portfolio and make massive, massive cash flow in property, then you need to follow us, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We are here in my house in Cheltenham. I am new to Cheltenham, for those of you who know me. I'm a Nottingham girl, born and bred. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting completely from scratch in a brand new place, and where we're going to be focusing is Gloucester over there. That's where we're going to focus. Now, Gloucestershire is probably not that dissimilar in size from Nottinghamshire. Okay, let's take a look at how we find our area, where to specifically invest, and how much we should be investing in this area that we're in right now. We're starting in a brand new place. I don't really know anything about Gloucester, genuinely don't know anything about Gloucester. So how do we start? This is the place to start, Rightmove. Rightmove is a fantastic tool we all have access to on the internet. We're going to work out the area from this search and how much we should be spending maximum. Start with lowest first. I'm going to discount plots of land. We're not looking for commercial, we're not looking for plots, we're not looking for new builds. We are not looking for auction either. We're looking for a simple, established property that would work well as a buy-to-let. So let's make this easier for us. We don't know how much we're going to be spending on the property, or how much we should be spending on the property at this point. A 1 bed is simply not big enough unless it's an apartment stroke flat. A 4 bed is far too big unless we're doing maybe a HMO or something more creative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter it from a 2 to a 3 bed property. We're just going to simply be looking for semi-detached and terraced. The first property I always discount because that's a featured property. This is a paid for ad, so it doesn't sit in line with all the others. The first property that I find here is guide price. Now this is an auction. I'm not interested in auction. Chances are it's going to go for more than what it's on for. That's why it's called guide price. They're starting at £120,000, as you can see here, right? So 120 is our entry point. Let's go back up to the top and then do it the opposite way round and look for highest price first. So looking at highest price first, we're looking quite high, like guide price 2.5 million. We don't need to be that high, right? So let's look at somewhere in the middle, because that would be your average. Now here's a tip for you. I've gone from page 1 and I've filtered it by lowest price first, and then I've done the opposite and gone highest price first. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top, and this is a great tip for finding out what your average values are. Lowest price, and then I go back to the bottom, and I'm going to basically pick page 20 to 21, which is sat right in the middle of 42 pages. Now, as you can see here, the properties are about 270 grand. I have got 21 pages of properties between entry point up to 270 grand. So what I am saying is we shouldn't be spending any more than £270,000 for a buy-to-let in Gloucestershire. What we want to be doing, for those of you who follow me and know what I do, I specialise in below market value. So what I'm trying to do is get a property discounted. So what that means is that these properties that are worth 270 grand, we can be buying those, but we don't want to be paying 270 grand. We want to be paying about 20% below that value. Okay. Now we also need to take into account refurbishments. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start scanning through Rightmove to see what we can find. What's this here? 3 bed terrace, 1930, offers over 270. Bloody hell. I don't want to be paying that. It's irrelevant. It's just because I'm from Nottingham and I'm like, I could buy Nottingham for 270. Right, so what's this? Onward chain, potential for driveway. I'm looking at oldest first as well. So what I want to do is I want to find something that's been on the market quite a while. There's stuff here from 2021. Oh dear, what a shithole. Oh, that's bad that. 3 bed mid-terrace 250. So we're looking on Rightmove. We've established the area, which is Gloucestershire, okay? We've established that we don't want to be spending any more. We don't need to be spending any more than £270,000, okay? Ideally, we still want to be getting those properties for less than that, but that are worth 270,000 at the maximum. We're going to look between 1 and 3 beds because we're going to include apartments, and in our property search we're going to be looking for anything except detached, because detached is irrelevant as a buy-to-let. Land, we're not dealing with land, and we're not dealing with park homes either. So basically, semi-detached, terrace, flats and bungalows to see what comes up. And then the golden nugget is we're going to look for oldest first. So I can see that there is a 2-bed apartment in the Docks in Gloucester, right? Also followed by a 1-bedroom apartment in the same block. Now, both of them are on with the same agent. Now, I've saved these 2 properties because I believe that these will be the same owner. I could be wrong, but it's just an inkling that I've got in my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact Purple Bricks. Unfortunately, you can't call them. So I've found 2 properties that I believe are on with 1 owner, believe but don't know. See if we can buy both from 1 owner and package those deals. The best deals you'll ever get will be direct to vendor. So that's what I'm trying to do here through Purple Bricks. Now, full admission, I don't know if they're going to put me in touch with the vendor. A lot of estate agents don't do that, which is why this is one of many different channels that I use to find leads for deals. So I do direct to vendor marketing separate from looking on Rightmove. But just for the example of what we're doing today, there are deals to be had on Rightmove. You've just got to find them. You've got to know how to look for them and what to look for. So we're currently waiting on Purple Bricks getting back to us about these 2 properties that should be on with 1 owner. I think the reality is that if the property is advertised with Purple Bricks or Yopa, what they are is they're national agents. The great thing about working with national agents is that the agents themselves tend not to do the viewings and the vendor tends to do the viewings, which is great because you get direct to vendor. Does that mean that the vendor is basically being cheap or in a motivated situation because they're on with those companies? I don't think so. There's not a massive difference in the price that you would pay the national agents to do it versus a local agent. There's not a big difference. So no, but what I would say is I do a lot more business with the national agents more so than the local agents because I simply get to go direct to vendor and then I can have the one-to-one conversation with the owner of the property and agree something that works for both of us, rather than trying to get the estate agent to sell what I want to do to someone else. In the nicest of respect, the greatest of respect, they don't care and they don't know because they're not as educated as I am to be able to sell what I want to sell to a third party. So it's best to do it yourself, direct to vendor. Hello, Katie speaking. Hang on a second, it's a really bad line. I'll call you back, 1 second. Purple Bricks just rang me. This never happens. I'm calling Purple Bricks, probably the valuer.
Hi Katie, is that any better?
It is loads better. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Carlo from Purple Bricks.
Carlo. Hi, Carlo. So yeah, I've just got an inquiry at the moment. So I've noticed that this is in the Docks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've noticed you've got a 2-bed and you've got a 1-bed. And I'm assuming that they're in the same block pretty much.
Yeah, they are, and owned by the same person.
Owned by the same person. Interesting. Okay. So you've got one person that's selling them. They've been on since August. Why have they been on so long?
The owner's got rather a huge portfolio in Tewkesbury.
Right, okay.
And nothing's happened for a year and a half. But now he's kind of reactivated, shall we say.
I see. Okay. So they've sort of been sat there dormant but on the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy's got a portfolio. Is he selling more?
He's got 2 at the moment.
2 that he wants to sell.
Are you an investor?
I am.
You're the perfect person. It's preferred to have them sort of tenanted, and they've got long-term tenants in there.
Okay. That's not a problem. Yeah, so I've just, I just would be curious. I don't know how you feel about putting me in contact with him, obviously not to cut you guys out, but just to talk about maybe if there's something we can do with more than just 2, because I've got the buying power to buy, within reason, quite a lot.
How many do you want?
Well, how many's he got? I'm in Cheltenham myself, so I'm just up the road looking to build a portfolio for myself. And if he's in Tewkesbury, as in from a portfolio perspective, then that would work really, really well if maybe we could be connected and you obviously be involved in that conversation, because it's not to cut you guys out.
I'll pass it over.
Yeah? Okay, well, I'll tell you what then. Why don't you speak to him and just say, I'd be interested in talking to him about his portfolio, and then we arrange a viewing for tomorrow morning and I come and meet you.
Well, can you come and have a look tomorrow morning at these two?
Yes, I can, yeah. So I'll come and meet you in the morning, and if you can reach out to the owner and see what, you know, what he might want to do, there might be something we can do there. Obviously, you can facilitate the conversation, but that would be really helpful.
Well, I'll just get him to call you. How's that?
That's perfect. If you don't mind, that's brilliant.
Do you do anything in Bristol?
Yeah, well, I'm actually national, looking for stuff myself, which would be Bristol's probably the furthest stretch I'd go, so yes.
All right, well, what I'll do, I'm part of the Developers Network in Bristol.
Okay.
And we are a collection of people that are doing deals off book and HMO conversions. Is that any interest to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if you want to connect me with the network, that would be really helpful.
All right, I shall connect you up.
Brilliant, thanks ever so much. Yeah, I'll save your number.
All right,
we'll chat tomorrow then.
Cheers then.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. So I've just rang up about 2 properties which we deemed potentially owned by one person. Correct. And in addition to that, this guy has got, apparently he owns half of Tewkesbury, which I'm assuming is a substantial portfolio of probably about 100 plus properties. So he's going to connect me direct to the landlord today so that I can talk to him about acquiring his entire portfolio. Now let's just say that came off. You've got 100 properties, just making an assumption here. Let's even say it's 50. Let's say it's 30. 30 properties where if we can acquire them at the right price, we can sell those properties on. And imagine if we made £5,000 on each one. Even if we said, look, £5,000 for each one, let's just reduce it so that we'd rather sell something rather than nothing. That's still an annual income, the average annual income, more than the average annual income in one deal. From one phone call. You heard the conversation. What more do you need? So we've now started this challenge in a brand new area where nobody knows my name, where we are going to be finding incredible property deals. I've got 2 viewings lined up for tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what happens on those viewings, and that's exactly why you cannot miss a video. So you need to make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I've been Katie Wilson, and I'll see you in the next video.